Hey everyone, it's great to be here. It's Monday after Thanksgiving. I hope you all had a great holiday weekend. Let me taking care of some technical things here. I need to shut my phone off. Otherwise, that thing is bounced. I've had a Siri come and start talking to me in the middle of a conversation here. So, anyway, I hope you guys all had a great a great holiday weekend, like I said, and mine was wonderful. I got to spend it with friends and family, and or friends and their family, so to speak. And uh, it was a lot of fun. It was a little bit of traveling, but it was wonderful to be in good company. So where are you all? Who all's here? Hey, Shar. Thanks for joining in. There you go. Stuffed full of stuffing. That's one of my favorite Thanksgiving side dishes is stuffing, and I make a pretty decent stuffing. I didn't have to do any of the cooking though this year, so that was pretty cool. And let's see. I'm just looking for something here real quick. And let's see. So bear with me. I'm trying to. I had to turn my phone back on because I'm looking for something real quick. Okay. And Brandy says, "Hi Rick, happy to be." Yeah, Brandy, I'm glad you're here tonight too. Sherry says hi. Sherry's from Oklahoma. Char's from Char, if I'm not mistaken, if I've got it correct, you're in Aiken, South Carolina. I can never keep those two straight. Brandy, and where are you tonight? And the rest of you that are on, why don't you just shout out and say, tell me where you're at, and see if see where we are in the country today. So anyway, again, I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. Shar says yes, Aiken, South Carolina. Lanny says hello. Oh, Brandy, you are in Kansas City. Lanny's in Dallas. Thank you. So we're spreading out. So anyway, the topic tonight it came up from a conversation that I was having with a friend of mine over the weekend, and was part of and Sherry's in Oklahoma, in Grove, Oklahoma. Welcome to Oklahomans tonight. A friend of mine was having a conversation. It was sharing with me a conversation she had with someone, and he told her that, or he suggested that she should stop looking for the type of guy that she was consistently going out with. That she needed to be dating somebody that was more at her level intellectually. And that kind of struck home with me, because I've talked to several people over the past few weeks about dating their type of person, and and what is your type of person? Is it in this particular case, this woman liked traditionally dated cowboys or ranchers, or that sort of that type of person. And not that there's anything wrong with that type. It's just is it fulfilling? Are the types of men that you're dating, or the types of women you're dating, are they fulfilling? Could you possibly find somebody that you don't think is typically your type, and find happiness or find true love? to carry on the story, the woman I'm talking about was looking to date cowboys or the cowboy type, and she's recently, in the last couple of months, found uh, what appears to be an extraordinary relationship with a city boy. Somebody she never thought that she'd be dating. So I'm just wondering, what types of people you envision dating, and are those preset stereotypes, or those that preset typing, or there's I guess stereotyping, so to speak, preventing you from finding the love of your life. Could that love be outside the stereotypical person you're looking for? Whether it be a cowboy, a surfer, or a businessman, or a lumberjack. Could your particular preferences be keeping you from finding that extraordinary love, that extraordinary relationship? And I truly believe we have to be open to all the possibilities, and looking at how our vision, and so many times our vision is limited. We don't, because we haven't experienced these other things, these other aspects of in dating, or we haven't dated outside of our stereotypes, and it can be a huge block. And maybe it is the place. Hey, Sylvia, thanks for joining in. And maybe that is the place you need to be looking. Maybe that's where you will find your extraordinary love. But what are the possibilities outside of that? Outside of your gosh, I'm just having a blank today. I'm drawing a blank on the words I'm looking for. We get so caught up in our vision sometimes that sometimes we miss some of the scenery around us, so to speak. We miss some of the people around us that are potentially great mates, that could potentially be the love of your life. So are those, are you narrowing, is your focus so narrowed that you're missing some great possibilities or some great prospects in the people outside of what you of the characters that you would normally date? Sherry, that's a great description. Some dating outside of your comfort zone. Hey, baby, thanks for joining in. When you date only within your comfort zone, and it's not just about the people you date, it's about the things you do, it's about the conversations you have. Stepping outside of your comfort zone and exploring new possibilities. And I think I think whenever you step outside your comfort zone, you expand your possibilities. You grow personally. And even if you date somebody outside of your traditional comfort zone or your traditional type, you'll learn some things about people that you didn't recognize before, that you didn't know before. You may find characteristics that even though the relationship may not, the date may not go past more than one or two dates, you may find something in somebody that you just decide, yeah, I need that in a relationship. I want that in my next relationship. I can't tell you that when I first started making my must-have list, 10 years ago or so, I started listing the things, and they were they were pretty much based on the things, the opposite things of what I didn't want. But as I dated, I started to recognize there were characteristics that I hadn't thought about. That I determined that, yeah, these would be great things to have in a relationship. So you have to remain open to a lot of different possibilities. And Shar says, I believe there are some core or basic characteristics that could apply to any type of person, but are required in whatever person you find, in whatever you find your happiness with. I would need someone with a modicum of intelligence, similar values, kindness, adventurous, things that you could find in a businessman, cowboy, Paul Bunyan, whoever. Well, there you go, Shar. That's exact, and that's what I'm talking about. Being able to recognize those things, those characteristics. But you have to date a variety of people. You don't necessarily, you don't necessarily need to date just businessmen to find the the characteristics that you're looking for. They can be in any type of person there. But my point is, you'll find some other characteristics that you say, wow, I didn't know that. I hadn't even thought about that. That would be awesome to have. I want that in my next relationship. So those are, it's what are some of the things that you're looking for? And have you found yourself doing the stereotypical dating certain types of people? Share. Why don't you share that with us if you're open to that, and see what other things, see what other possibilities there are. How can you, where could you look for someone different, a different type of person? Are you willing? And that's a huge question right there. Are you willing to look outside of your typical, the typical person that you date? If you're not willing to step outside those bounds, then you are putting some limitations on who you're going to meet and some of the qualities that are out there. Brandy says, I lean more towards dating professional men, but I would be open to others too. Well, there you go. And that's awesome, Brandy, because when you open yourself up to dating others outside of professionals, and we all have preferences. I have my preferences. You all have preferences, and when you're open to taking a look, you can find. And I'm not just necessarily saying that it will happen. I'm not necessarily saying that lightning's going to happen. The first time you try dating somebody outside the box, so to speak. But you can learn so many things about other people, about yourself, and find attractive qualities. You'll also find things that you just don't want or need in a relationship. There's a huge learning curve that can come from dating outside of your comfort zone. Sherry, I owe you one for that one, because that one is sticking with me now. Shar says, I'm willing to expand my horizons too, because you're right. There could be aspects in relationships that I have yet to experience. And that's an awesome way of putting it. You should host the show tonight. I'm floundering here today, but you stated it very well, that being open to aspects that you haven't experienced yet. And that's That's what it's all about. This is a long process of in dating and finding your soulmate. This is not an overnight thing. It's a it as I go back to it's as I was sharing with someone this weekend, it's a marathon. Dating is a marathon. It's not a it's not a sprint. It takes time. It takes it it's that needle in a haystack relationship you're looking for. And when you find it, it is really, really awesome. And I've experienced it. I've talked to many others that have experienced it, and to a person, they've all said their mate brings more to that relationship than they could ever have imagined. And when you find that kind of relationship, it's almost it has a magical quality about it. And I know there is, especially in the beginning, there's lots of infatuation, there's raging hormones going on, but there's also something about being with your soulmate or finding that extraordinary relationship that allows you to be yourself. It's an easy connection. It's not something that you struggle to work for or to work through. The arguments that you have, or when you step on toes. Sylvia says she's looking for that awesomeness, and that's exactly what you should be looking for. It's just it's something there that again, the relationship just there's a comfort level there that you won't find in anything but extraordinary. It's just easy. It's so hard for me to describe because it's a connection, it's a feeling that almost transcends words. You can move around the house, you can work in the kitchen together, and it's almost effortless. You share, oh, would you go get me that, or can you bring me this, and you can work in the kitchen without stumbling over each other, and you almost anticipate each other's moves. And you when you start looking at that kind of a relationship, and I know some of you are like me, that have been divorced or widowed for a number of years. I'm going on 11 years here. And when we tend to get set in our ways. And when that special someone walks into your life, it's like, yeah, okay, we can change this. We can do this. We can do that. Things that you thought were, no, this is who I am. This is what I want to do. It just, yeah, all that stuff is up for grabs now. It's no longer 100% settled. We have to do it this way. And those are lessons that I've learned a long time ago, and had to learn several times, that my way is not the only way. I'm writing a blog about this very thing, and probably be posting it on Thursday. But I had a French foreign exchange student teach me that you can take the silverware basket out of the dishwasher and carry it over to the silverware drawer and unload it there, rather than making 2 or 3 trips from the dishwasher. So and I was 40 some years old when I learned that lesson, that the way I was doing it wasn't the only way. And my daughter has taught me lessons like that. There's more than one way of doing things. And what I've come to learn over the years is that that's okay, as long as what needs to get done is getting done. That's all it takes. It just, if we can let go of our I don't want to say righteous. I guess righteousness that our way is the only way, or this is my house, my roof, my rules. If we can get rid of that and adjust, it's going to make the transition from going from a single to a couple much easier. It makes it much smoother. And I know there are some things that I still want done my way, but if it gets done, I may not be as happy about it as as uh, as if I had done it my way or it had been done my way. But as long as it got done, in the end, that's all that counts. So, there has to come some flexibility. And part of the dating process is being flexible, looking outside the box, or looking outside your comfort zone to see who else is out there. And you just never know where you're going to find that special someone. And one of the saddest stories I heard was, hey Barbara, thanks for joining us today, glad you could make it. One of the saddest stories or saddest comments I heard over the weekend was somebody had made comment on my Facebook ad that for my book that they were done. She was 42 years old. She couldn't, every man that she meets is worthless. And at 42 years old, I'm thinking, holy cow, she's barely halfway through her life, and already she's given up. She's had some tough experiences, and I didn't get into it in that forum, but I had to wonder, how much she had talked about years of abuse and neglect. Well, with years of abuse and neglect, what was her role in that? Why did she feel she needed to stay for a significant period of time to be abused and neglected that long? So when we step outside of ourselves and take a look at the situation, what are we contributing, or what is our decision making process that's keeping or prolonging that suffering, that misery? And the same thing applies to dating and stepping outside your traditional dating. I'm not going to date him because he's a carpenter. I couldn't date somebody like that, or I couldn't date her because she's a waitress. That's in whatever it is. I think if you carry similar values, similar morals, you can make a great life together. Just simply by, if assuming you connect. I'm not telling you to go out and meet the first person off the street and say, yeah, you're not my type, let's get married. That I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about exploring other possibilities. And who was it? Brandy was saying she generally prefers dating a professional. But what happens, what would it be like if you dated a blue collar worker, a factory worker, a truck driver? Granted, they may not be as polished in some cases. They may be a little rougher around the edges, and that could be a problem. But there are there are business owners out there. There are pilots. There are there's any number of people out there that might surprise you. And so Sherry says, look at Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani. There are some opposites. Well, there's some opposites there where Blake is in the country music and Gwen is in pop music. But but there are some similarities there too, because they're both in the music industry. They're both in the entertainment industry. So while their genres may be different, I immediately see some, and you wouldn't think that those two genres would mix, but apparently they do. Their lives overlap. Shar says, I've been visiting with an over-the-road trucker, and my sweet daughter advises that I would really like to that I would really like to travel, and that would be a plus. Gotta love her. Absolutely. Well, if you can, if he owns his own rig and you can travel with him, I've often thought I wouldn't mind being a truck driver and just going and seeing. I personally love to drive, but then I I love being here with you guys on Monday Mastery and coming to you on Thursdays with my blog and interacting with all of you on Facebook and YouTube. And so the idea is that there are possibilities out there. And Shar, if you get the opportunity to meet him, I'm not telling you to jump in the truck right now, but on your first date and travel across country, but have a few dates before that happens. But there's the possibility, and one of the and in the meantime, you can get to know him by talking to him on the phone. You can YouTube, or not YouTube. You can Zoom, Skype, FaceTime. There are plenty of ways to get to know people through a long distance relationship. I think there are some very healthy aspects of long distance dating. You can step away from each other, or you are apart, and you remove some of the sexual desire because you're not in close proximity, and that can be a healthy way of getting to know somebody without sex getting in the way. I've given it, as Shar says, I've given it some thought, but mostly because he is so articulate. Enjoy conversations with him, and Shar, that's my whole point tonight. Is that for Brandy, there's a perfect example. Shar's talking to an over the road trucker, and we all get stereotypes of what certain occupations are, what people fill certain occupations, or the personality types. And I've known some very intelligent people that are not professional people. They're just down to earth. What is it? They just have a natural wisdom about them, and they are so fun to talk to and to get to know. So there's, it's about stepping outside your comfort zone. It's about stepping outside the boundaries you've set for yourself. And the more you can do that, the greater your opportunity is going to be for, the greater your opportunity is to meet that extraordinary man or woman, and bring them into your life. And what is going on back there? I don't know if you guys see it, but I'm seeing this, and I'll point to the little mug behind me. It just looks like there's lights dancing on that mug. So how's that for a distraction? Anyway, so there's just so many different possibilities, and so much of life is about getting out of our own head and letting things happen, letting life flow, and saying, oh no, I couldn't do that. No. and saying, why not? It's like people who choose to jump out of an airplane. It's on my bucket list. It scares the crap out of me, but I'm going to do it one day. I don't know what one day I'm going to do it, but it's something that I want to do. And and for me, it's overcoming that fear. So and fear has a lot to do with dating outside of your comfort zone. We tend to be afraid of the unknown, and more often than not, it's going to be a lot more pleasant than you actually expect. Because odds are you're going to be pleasantly surprised. Oh, that wasn't bad. I really enjoyed that. Sure, you might enjoy getting to meet this trucker and spending some time with him when he's in your area. So Brandy, that's I'm if that sounds like something, and I'm not saying go looking for an over the road trucker, but look outside the professional realm, which I said, which I know you said you're open to. So what are some of the other stereotypes, or what comfort zones are you in right now that may be limiting your exposure to finding that extraordinary relationship? Where are you in your journey? Are you stuck? Are you afraid of dating? Whether it be online dating or stuck trying to meet someone. What are your holdups, or what are the boundaries, or the barriers that are keeping you stuck where you're at? And or are you open to all kinds of opportunities? Are you somebody that's always searching for a new opportunity to meet someone, to date? I'll let you guys answer. Oh, fine. Thanks, guys. Just leaving me out here to dry. Okay, well, we'll keep going. So it's we'll circle back around, and it's you never know where you're going to find extraordinary. It could be meeting somebody in the Sylvia shot me an LOL here. Thanks. See, striking up a conversation with someone in the checkout line. I've done that so many times. It's actually fun. I have fun just chatting with people. And hey, Teresa, thanks for joining in. I know the last couple of weeks you said you've missed it, but you're catching the last half here. So I'm glad you could make it. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Stepping outside your comfort zone and just striking up a conversation with a stranger in the checkout line. How much fun can you have? And that's how I look at it, is how much fun can I have? And there are times that I've said something that just the comment fell flat, and I get an eye roll, and it's like, oh, okay, well, that didn't work. And note to self. Teresa says, Teresa, I'm sorry to hear that. Teresa was down with COVID for a while. Hope you're feeling better. And so, it's, you just have to step outside your comfort zone, and, just try new ways to start a conversation. And that's one of the biggest comments I get is, where do you find somebody? Well, there's people around you all day long. Char says, I've never had over the road trucker on my radar, and still not sure he checks all the boxes, but he is extraordinary in some ways, things I did not expect from him. And and there again, that's I'm so glad you're watching for the checking all your boxes or all your must-haves, because that's critical. And but it still wouldn't, it still doesn't hurt to talk to him. It still doesn't hurt to even have a couple of dates with him, and even if you find that he doesn't have all of your must-haves or has any of your deal breakers, just look at how you've already expanded your field of vision, so to speak, because you found someone in a profession that you didn't expect to be as articulate and as interesting and entertaining as he is. Sylvia says, I had a cowboy and that's where I feel comfortable. I stepped outside of my comfort zone with a sports fan and nope, didn't work. So it's about personalities clicking like a seatbelt. Yeah, well, Sylvia, that's absolutely right. You can look in any different occupation or category or type of guy, and you still have to have the personalities connect. You still have to have all the moving parts. They have to have all of your must-haves and none of your deal breakers. You need to be able to develop an intellectual, a spiritual, an emotional, and a physical connection. You need to speak similar love languages. And the more I coach, the more I recognize the importance of speaking similar love languages. I mean, they don't have to be identical, but your top love languages should be very similar. If yours is physical touch and his is acts of service, and somewhere in the number 2 or number 3 yours is acts of service, and somewhere in the 2 or 3 his is physical touch, you're much more apt to connect with each other and communicate on a much deeper level, because you're able to show each other or express love to each other in the other's love language. When you don't share that love language, it's so much harder to express your love for somebody or to understand their love for you. Shar says, I actually have it in my head to do that just because he is so unique in who he is. Well, good. That's great, Shar. That's a healthy attitude. That's the way you should be dating. And Shar, I swear we're going to plug you in here as a co-host here pretty quick. And so, there are so many opportunities to meet people, and it is about finding somebody that connects on all of these levels. And then again, you have to have chemistry. And I've talked to people and I've been in relationships that there's a lot. There can be chemistry. There can be a minor intellectual connection, but in the end, it ends. There's mostly physical attraction, and these things kind of fizzle out very quickly. And it's important to be able to recognize where that connection is coming from. Is it more than just physical? Is it more than a great sexual chemistry? You have to build a foundation, and sex is not a foundation to build a relationship on. It becomes part of a relationship, but it's not where you build a foundation. You got to have an intellectual connection. You've got to be able to talk, and you have to be able to talk about anything and everything. You have to have similar morals and values. And I've experienced being in relationships with women that didn't have my same values, and it was a problem. They what they thought was okay, and I just look at in horror and say, really, that's you find that to be okay? And that that's where we and that's where you have to be mature enough and adult enough to say, yeah, this just isn't the right relationship for me. Doesn't mean you're bad or I'm bad. It just means it's not the right one. There'll be somebody out there for them, and you don't have to worry about that. That's their problem. You have to worry about finding the right one for you, and making sure that the fit for you is extraordinary. And look outside. Sheila says, I think sex is a good foundation. And Sheila, I know Sheila and I've talked and visited a couple of times, and I know that is not her underlying premise for a strong relationship. Although it's a fun part, it's a good part, and it belongs in every strong, solid relationship. It's not the only part. Thanks, Sheila. Thanks for joining in. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. So those are, there are so many opportunities out there. What are you willing to look at? Are you, and again, I'm circling back to, are you willing to step outside of your comfort zone or beyond the boundaries that you've set for yourself? Are you, and if things go wrong, do you beat yourself up over it and say, nope, I knew I shouldn't have done that. I need to stay in this lane right here. I can guarantee you that no matter where, if you stay in your lane or within your dating, within your type, whether it's cowboys or truckers or businessmen or professionals, you're going to run into problems there too. Not everybody. Thanks, Sheila. Sheila says, made you smile. I appreciate that, Sheila. No matter where you date, whether you're staying in your lane and dating the type of person that you're accustomed to, or you're outside, you're going to run into problems, and it's going to be it's just because you're comfortable with a certain type of person doesn't mean that there aren't going to be issues. There's going to be issues no matter where you look. And so don't let dating outside of your lane or outside of your comfort zone, don't let that stop you from a problem. The first time you date somebody outside of your comfort zone, don't let that stop you. Keep looking. And it's, I firmly believe that you need to give yourself every opportunity to find that extraordinary relationship, whether you're dating in your comfort zone or outside of it. There's a possibility for finding extraordinary no matter where you look, but it's being open to the possibilities. And if you limit yourself to the to where you look, it's just going to be so much harder and take so much longer. I get it's and it's so hard to convey how important it is to give yourself every opportunity and take advantage of every opportunity that passes your way. Because some opportunities will never present themselves again. Others will keep presenting themselves again and again and again and again. And and especially when when you come into an opportunity that keeps presenting itself, you might just have to step back and say, okay, Lord, what are you trying to tell me here? Is this someone I should be looking at, or is this something I should be thinking about? I found, at least for me, that's a huge signal, or a huge flag to wave me down and say, okay, Rick, pay attention here. I keep sending you this in this direction, and and you keep ignoring me. And Lord knows I've done that many times. So any questions, any thoughts, any comments? And it's so again, I'm being probably a bit redundant, but it's important to open yourself up to opportunities. Um, and opportunities may not always appear as opportunities. You may be getting somebody that says, yeah, come on, Sheila, or come on, Char, let's go out and let's, I think this could work. I think we have something here. And all too many times, yes, there's nothing there, but other times, give it a shot. Give the give the opportunity a chance to materialize. Shar says, I do the same thing. Okay, God, what are you trying to tell me? Yeah, that's exactly right. And again, when you see the same opportunities, arising time and again, and it may not be a person, but it may be it may be something that you should be attending this group or attending this church, or there's something drawing you. One of the, I've told several people this story that many years ago, before I met my very best friend, I would drive by his office and there was something calling me to his office every time I drove by. I said, I got to meet this guy. I don't know why, but I've got to meet him. And finally, when I had the chance, it was for business. But when we finally concluded business and we got to talking, we had so much in common, and we became fast friends. And we talk at least once a week, every week. We're just checking in. And I had him on speakerphone, and I had somebody in the car with me this week, and he shared with my friend that I was more of a brother to him than his brother is. And that, so my point here is that you never know, when you feel that urge to meet someone or to stop in somewhere, do it. Don't ignore it, because there could be a lesson to be learned. There could be someone to meet. There could be an opportunity for any number of things, for business, for pleasure, for relationship. You don't know. But when you keep ignoring opportunities, or when you keep ignoring something that keeps knocking at the door, you may be giving up on or turning away opportunities that God is leading you towards. So anyway, well, that's really about the extent of what I have to share today. Unless you guys have some questions that come up real quick. It's I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving weekend. It was a long weekend, and it's the countdown is on till Christmas. Countdown is on to Christmas and the end of the year. Hard to believe we only have a month left. And although this year won't be a year that I will miss anytime soon, but and don't misunderstand me, it has been an outstanding year for me. Some very wonderful things have transpired this year, and I'm looking forward to the upcoming year for a number of reasons. So Teresa says, thank God. Yeah, we've got 1 month left, and this one's over. So anyway, with that, everyone, if there's no questions, I will wrap up today's session, and we will talk to you all next Monday right here from Kansas City. and hopefully we've got a quick trip to Michigan this week, and hopefully I'll be back here next weekend and be live right here from Kansas City. So anyway, I love you all. Have a great and blessed week, everyone, and I will see you right back here at Monday, and I don't know what date that is, but 5 o'clock Central Standard Time right here. And baby says, let's see, let me just pop this up real quick. Baby says, I always feel relaxed listening to all your advice. Thank you very much. Take care. Until next week. Thanks, baby. Thank you. Teresa says, thank you. Be safe. And I will see you all next week. Have a great and blessed week, everyone. I love you guys. Thank you.